The idea of judging somebody by the color of their skin makes me feel ill. Skin color is an immutable trait, and it should be treated as inconsequentially as your hair color. The KKK and Southern Democrats of the past wanted to ascribe your worth and the way they would treat you based on your racial group. Actually, the truth is that this has been ubiquitous throughout human history and still exists, unfortunately, in large swaths of the world today. Fortunately, racism in the West has largely dissipated, while the soaring and immortal rhetoric of Martin Luther King.
I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Has been embraced and largely adopted, thankfully, because I absolutely abhor the practice of racism. And suddenly, believe it or not, I'm ready to adopt it. Why? Practical purposes. There are still groups who are intentionally trying to divide us based on race. The KKK, who have fortunately been reduced to basically a nothing burger, despite what Dementia Joe will tell you, as well as the woke Marxists. Ibrim Kendi, race grifter extraordinaire, will tell you the only way to make up for past discrimination is present day discrimination, naturally against white people, because the blacks were discriminated against in the past. Jim Crowe, but with an added touch of hatefulness, resentment, and vengeance. Then you have people like Ayana Presley, member of the Squad. Yes, she's actually in Congress, because you won't believe it after you listen to what she says here.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up. Because we need you to represent that voice.
So your opinion, your thought on any subject must be a function of your skin color, your sexuality, or your religion. That means if you out there are black, you damn well better fall in line with the correct groupthink or risk being ostracized. You must pledge your total and abiding obedience to Ayana Presley's Marxist politics, and they will decide for you afterwards what you must think, say, and do. They aren't trying to convince you that their arguments and opinions are superior. They're shaming you into it. You, by virtue of solely your color of skin, must be a loyal ally. So now back to me. If the blacks, the browns, the yellows, and the purples bite in to this poisonous apple that she is offering you, if she drains your mind of any logic or individualistic decision-making capabilities, and you become a monolithic group marching in lockstep, then your skin color absolutely becomes a predictor of your thinking and your actions. If Ayana has hypnotized, coerced, or shamed you into adopting her and their Marxist values and resentful backstory, none of it positive, that you're oppressed and a victim, that white people today are your oppressors, that I, who had not a single ancestors in the United States during the time of slavery, owe you reparations by dint of my lighter skin, and that if you dare to believe differently or voice a thought inconsistent with the approved narrative, then you are ostracized from the group. Because you adhere to the frame given to you by the identity politics. How could I logically not judge you based on your skin color? In this reality, which is sadly coming more and more into focus every day, it bears repeating: skin color predicts beliefs and actions you are likely to take. I want to be able to judge you based on the content of your character. But leftists like Ayana Presley, like Ibrim Kendi, like AOC are all doing all that they can to upend Dr. King's dream and turn the landscape of the United States into a race-based nightmare. And yet they continue to claim that they want to bring you utopia. I pray that those of you out there who might be doing your best to be fair and understand their grievances, Antifa grievances, can see exactly what happens when you start clapping like a seal and following in lockstep with anybody who preaches this toxic and utterly divisive rhetoric.
Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice.
Race matters, and we need to say so.
And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
See where it will bring us. If this evil witch is successful in dividing us up along racial lines, it's up to you to tell me how judging your likely actions and belief based on the color of your skin isn't the game theoretically correct position to take. Tell me how I'm wrong without engaging in an ad hominem attack in the comments below. Go for it. I'm all ears. Again, if you fall into the logic that your beliefs must be what she tells you that they are, and they must be based along racial lines, it's very easy to predict what your beliefs and actions will be. Peace, blessings. Thumb up the video, subscribe, hit the all notification bell. Have a fantastic day. Comment below.